Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I am Aisha, I am a tarot reader and occultist, and today we are going to be looking at what message your male guides have for you. Disclaimer before we get into it, this is a collective reading. The messages found here cannot and will not be for everyone. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and please don't force anything if it does not fit. Alright, I will now give you some time to choose your group or your groups. Hello my group 1, and welcome to your reading about the message that your male guides have for you. So today we will be using the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and for your oracle deck we will be using my all-time favorite oracle deck, my all-time favorite deck in general, the Whispers of Lord Ganesha Oracle. So let's start. Let's first check in with who this guide is. My group 1's guide, can you please tell me a bit about yourself? This male guide who wants to come through for my group 1, can you please tell me a bit? Okay. The Star. The Star. An Aquarius placement. Heard tree people, that may be significant for you. It may be culturally significant, it may be significant in your family. Do you remember, well, you may know the show, you may not know the show. It was called Treehouse Masters. Treehouse Masters. It was about this guy who used to build tree houses. Shocker. But he used to build tree houses. So this guide of yours may have been a carpenter, they may have worked with their hands, may have been a treehouse builder himself, he may have been a treehouse builder. He may have come from a tribe or a group of people who lived in the trees. I'm not sure if, I guess we can Google this, I'm sure there must be something. Tribe of people or people who lived in trees or who live in trees. Group of people. No, that's too wordy. People who live in trees. Some people live in trees. The Korowai people, a Papuan tribe in Southeast Irian Jaya. 10 people who have lived in a tree. The Korowai tribe. So that may be significant. Living in a tree, living in a high area surrounded by trees. Can you please tell me a bit about yourself? My group 1's male guide. Can you please tell me? The Page of Cups. I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston just came to mind. Can you please tell me a bit about yourself? Specifically that line, if I stay, I will only get in your way, but I will always love you. Oh my God, one, please. I'm getting an idea of this person already. Can you please tell me a bit about yourself? It's as if the 10 of Pentacles. This person, this guy that's coming through for you, he, so this is from like, I would say like quite a while ago. It feels like decades ago, centuries, not even not centuries, but you know, many years ago. This person may have been from a small village. This guy that's coming through for you may have been from a small village. He may have been from a village where he felt very stifled in, very unhappy in. He had these big dreams for his life and he just couldn't achieve them in this village. It may have been a case where some foreigners came into this village and they brought some invention with them, and your guide was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. You're telling me that this is what's outside of this village. And he became fascinated by the idea of everything outside of this village. And while living in this village, he may have had familial obligations, and so he was a good son. What's this song? It's by Kevin Abstract. I always associate the song with Itachi from Naruto. He was a bad son. He was a bad son. He was a bad son, so he left home. What song is that? He was a bad son, so he left. He was a bad son, so he left. Kevin Abstract. Echo. He was a bad son, so he left. So he may have tried his hardest to be a good son. He helped on the farm or in the family business or doing what's expected of him as part of this village. He got married, he had a child, but he just was not happy. And he was so unhappy that he was making the people around him unhappy. He would snap at his wife. He would try his best to be a present father, but every time he looked at his child, all he saw was an anchor, a shackle keeping him to this village. He never wanted this life. He just did what was expected of him. And so one day, maybe impulsively, he just woke up and he was like, I can't do this anymore. And so he packed a bag and he left. And I just heard the prodigal son returns. And so when he left and he went and did everything, I don't think he abandoned his family. Like, yes, he abandoned them physically, but I think he still sent them letters and he sent them money. And in a way, he became more of a present husband and father and family member when he was not physically in the picture. Because when he was there, he was so distant, always daydreaming about the life that he could live, always wishing his life was different, and so he was never present. And his presence may have felt like a burden to the people around him. But when he left, he would send letters, he would send money, he would send gifts, he would send messages of his travels and his adventures. And when he came back, he was welcomed with open arms, because I do think he comes back to his hometown, because we have the Ten of Pentacles, and in this deck you can see it's this family welcoming you in for dinner, into their gathering, into a party. And so he was welcomed back with open arms, and he brings riches to this village, he brings luxuries to this village. Everything he found on his trips, on his travels, he shares with the village. Maybe he learned about some new way of storing food and he shares it with this village, or he learned about, he got some investors from his travels to invest in the village, and now they have a better school, they have better they have all these new ingredients to cook with. So he brings so much of life back with him. And again, I feel like it's not, he never abandons his family really, and he is like, okay, I experienced this, so now I want you to experience this as well. So maybe he goes for a year, 2 years, and then he comes back for his wife and his child, and he's like, there's a world outside of here, let's go explore. And so he took them with him to explore. Because at the end of the day, he wanted the best for his family, and he knew that yes, maybe the circumstances of how he got his wife and his child weren't the best. They came into this relationship out of obligation, but at the end of the day, this is his wife and his child, and he loves his child because this is his child, and he's come to love his wife because this is his wife, and he wants to share this world with them. He doesn't want to just leave them in this village feeling stifled and stuck the way he had felt stifled and stuck. He wants them to experience the life that he has experienced, and so he goes back for them. That's it. He goes back for them. He goes back home, and he brings the world to this village, and he shares it with his family, and he improves their lives in this way. And then he takes his family, his wife and his daughter, maybe even his parents, and he shares this world with them. He takes them out of the village. He's like, oh, I managed to get a house in this place, there's enough space, I worked so hard for this, and I want to share it with you. And maybe he doesn't have the best house, maybe he doesn't have the best job, maybe he's working, as a day laborer or something, but he is happy, he's content, because he followed his own path. He made an impulsive decision, but he doesn't regret it. He doesn't regret it at all. He never regretted it. What message do you have for my group one, please? The Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. And it was like he realized that he couldn't be a good son if he stayed. He couldn't be a good husband if he stayed. And he certainly could not be a good father if he stayed. Because he wanted so much more than this village. He wanted so much more than the life he had been given. And he also wanted more for his wife, and especially he wanted more for his child. And so he went out there and he experienced it first. And he was like, now I know what it's like. Now I've set up a bit of a job, and I have a stable income, and I have this house. I can't let my wife and child rot away in that village. And yes, it's a beautiful village, whatever, but to him it was just a suffocation, and he couldn't let his wife and child suffocate in there. So now that he had things secured, he had no choice. He had a choice. He 100% had a choice. But once he had things secured, the next thing was to go back for his wife and child. Message here for my group one, please. The King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. You have so many options in front of you. What choice are you going to make? You have so many in front of you. What choice are you going to make? Message here for my group one, please. Two of Cups. Two of Cups. I think that's what it is most about. That love that we were talking about. He could so easily have abandoned this woman, this wife. He could so easily have abandoned this child, because we're looking at like way in the past. It was easier to have a second life back then. It was easier to just abandon your old life and start over, and he could have done that. But he had come to love this woman so much, and this life that he had built with her. He couldn't be happy if he wasn't sharing it with her. Okay, wait. Oh, what fell out for you? Eight of Cups. And the message that he has for you is mirroring the story that I just told you about his life. Can I message that from my husband, please? The Five of Cups. I'll message that from my husband, please. And the Knight of Pentacles. There are two options that you can make here. There are two choices you can make, rather. There is a safe choice. Follow the path that's been laid out for you. Get, you know, that job out of university, out of college. Marry the person who everybody approves of. Live the life that everybody approves of. Do the 9 to 5. Do the boring thing that makes you feel unsatisfied. I guess for some people that's amazing, you know. They have the 9 to 5. They have the standard partner and they're fine, they're perfect, and that's great. You know, different strokes for different folks. So that's great for them. You can do that. If you want that, do it. That's your one choice. Play it safe, play it comfortable. There's nothing wrong with being safe and being comfortable. At the end of the day, don't we all want to be safe and comfortable? But you also have the choice to create your own path. To do things that may be a bit difficult and a bit unconventional. The way that he did things that were unconventional, that were difficult and unconventional, leaving people behind, leaving his family, his life behind. It was difficult. It was very difficult for him, but he did it because he had to do it, and he knew he wouldn't be happy if he didn't do it. And you have this choice in front of you. He's telling you you have to make a choice. To keep doing what you're doing now, what everybody's saying you should do, what everybody's saying you must do, what everybody's saying you have to do in order to be happy and successful, you can keep doing that. Or you can do what you want to do, even if it may be a bit of a risk. Even if it may risk people's respect for you, even if it may risk how your family views you, even if it may risk whether your family accepts you or not. Sometimes you have to do those things because you have to remember that at the end of the day you are living for yourself and not for anyone else. And yes, there may be loss in this because we have the Five of Cups. And it's so interesting, this imagery that's used in this Five of Cups, because when we look at the Five of Cups in the Rider-Waite, we see somebody surrounded by these cups that have spilled over. You know, he's lost. When we see this card, typically we see endings. But with the imagery you see here, yes, she's lost her ball. This is what the Princess and the Frog? It's the Princess and the Frog. She's lost her ball, she's running to it. And now she's going to meet this frog who turns into her prince. And so it's a temporary loss. If I was reading from the Rider-Waite, I would say, oh, you're going to take this risk and lose it all, so I wouldn't take the chance if I were you. But here it's like he wants you to be comfortable with losses. He wants you to be comfortable with endings. He wants you to be comfortable with delayed gratification. I feel like I said delayed gratification so much today because I did another reading earlier for my other channel, and I think I must have said it like 5 times. But he wants you to be comfortable with knowing that there's no such thing as an overnight success. He wants you to be comfortable with knowing that it is a blessing to have choice. And when you are blessed, when you are gifted with this blessing of choice, you have a right to take it. When God gives you a choice, how do I say this? It's not even about God. Let's take God out of the equation. When you are given a choice, when you have autonomy and freedom and choices, in a world where so many people do not have autonomy and freedom and choices, and if you are a woman, you are maybe the first or second generation to have freedom and autonomy and choices, because the woman before you did not have such freedom, autonomy, and choices. And so when you have freedom, autonomy, and choices, you have a responsibility to yourself. You owe it to yourself to make the choice, to make the unacceptable choice. I think that's it. You have a responsibility to yourself to make the unacceptable choice, to make the difficult choice, because there's an easy choice. There is an easy choice. Your family says, we have this job set out for you, take it, you'll get retirement, blah blah blah, benefits, blah blah blah, work this job until you're 60, retire. We also have this husband or this partner laid out for you, marry them. This is the life you're going to lead. You're going to be a doctor, you're going to get married, we want grandchildren, so you're going to have 3 children. You are going to live in this house because we like this area, and because this doctor position is going to pay this much. We have connections at this hospital, so like it's like they have it laid out for you. And like I said, for some people that's all and good. Some people need that safety net. Some people need the safety of knowing that life is planned out for them. And I don't think you are one of those people. I think if anything, this feels stifling and it feels stressful, and it makes you wonder if you're even living life. And like this guy that's coming through for you, he's saying, he wasn't happy living the life that was laid out for him, and you're the blood of his blood, the soul of his soul. He knows you're not happy living the life that's been laid out for you too. And he wants you to start to take a risk on yourself, to take a chance on yourself. And this is not me saying cut all your losses and do a 180 and change your life overnight and sell your house and blah 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 blah. But it's like, at least make the baby steps towards change. It's like, I think like with Pink Panthers, for example, she had been posting her music to TikTok secretly, and now she's Pink Panthers. So it's like, you need to start taking steps towards the life you want to live, so that you can be happy, even if you have to do it in secret, even if you have to do it embarrassed, even if you have to do it under a different name, hiding your face with a persona. So what if people laugh? So what if people say you're never gonna make it? Who knows? You could be the next Chapel Roan, you could be the next Pink Panthers, you could be the next Ayo Edebiri, you could be the next Jeremy Allen White, you could be the next, I'm trying to think of other celebrities, oh my god, you could be the next Angelina Jolie, but she didn't do things in secret, she was also like a nepo baby. You could be the next Sabrina Carpenter, you could be the next Charlie XCX, you could be the next Mark Lee, you could be the next Chu, you could, even if you don't want to be a celebrity, right? Maybe you want to be a writer. Maybe everybody's saying you have to be a doctor, but you want to be a nurse. Or everybody's saying you have to be a doctor, but you want to be a history professor or a teacher of English. Who knows? The thing is that you have the power of choice and the power of autonomy, and that in and of itself is a blessing. And so you have a responsibility to yourself to make use of this blessing, even if it's going to make people upset at you, even if it's going to make people doubt you, even if it's going to make people look down upon you. Maybe your whole family are doctors, you come from a family of doctors, you come from a family of lawyers, you come from a family of architects, but you want to be a piano teacher, or you want to be a veterinarian, or you want to run a shelter, an animal shelter, or you're very happy waitressing and you don't need to live very lavishly and you can live very comfortably off of the money you make waitressing, or you want to be a hostess, or you want to be a YouTuber or a streamer or something, and it's just something that people don't agree with. And it's like, you have a responsibility to yourself to take the chance on yourself, and you don't have to ditch your whole life to pursue it. You can do it on the side, you can do it secretly, but you have a responsibility to yourself to take the chance. And now I'm thinking of Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. I'm looking at the man in the mirror, I'm begging him to make a change. All these cards fell. I won't take all of them. Let's see, what message do you have for my group one, please? Divine support. Whatever decision you make, you are divinely supported. You are supported by your guide as well. He is here with you. He's not going to give you advice and then just dip out. No, he's here with you and he'll be with you through it all. What message do you have for my group one, please? Courage. Courage. Please, please be courageous. Be brave enough, courageous enough to go after the life that you want to live, after the life that is going to make you feel most fulfilled, most satisfied, most content, after the life that's going to make you feel alive. And now I'm hearing I feel like I always channel Hadestown songs, even though I don't listen to the soundtrack that much. But it's when you really see an Orpheus first meet, and she asks him, like, what can you do or something, and he's like, I can make you feel alive. I can make you feel alive. And she's like, alive? That's worth a lot. What else you got? And it's like, right now it feels very much like you're going through the motions and you're doing what you're told. You go to class and you do the classes your family told you have to do, and you wish you could do different class. You go to work and you do the job that you have to do because it's what your family told you have to do. And it's like, when are you going to start living for yourself? Our last card. Belonging. When are you going to go after your life and find rooms that welcome you for you, instead of rooms that are open to you only because somebody put you there, only because you feel as if you're supposed to be there? It's time for you to start making a change so that you can feel alive and be happy in your life. Alright, my group one? So thank you for trusting me to be your reader. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can find the links to do so down below. Alright, bye! Hello my group 2, and welcome to your reading about what message your male guides have for you. So today we will be using the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and for your oracle we will be using the Whispers of Lord Ganesha Oracle. Alright, so first let's find out a little bit about this male guide who's coming through, who has a message for you. My group 2's guide, male guide. Please tell me a bit about yourself. The Ten of Swords. My group 2's male guide, please tell me a bit about yourself. The Sun. Okay. My group 2's male guide, please tell me a bit about yourself. And the Four of Pentacles. Very interesting. I almost want to take this very literally, as in like, this is someone who was betrayed by their son. And I'm thinking of like, well, that show Merlin, and I don't really remember anything that happened in the show because I watched it like so long ago. I watched it as a kid, but I'm thinking of the show Merlin, I'm thinking of King Arthur. And so your guide who's coming through may be British, European, Is that better? What was I saying? British, European, from like Victorian England or medieval England. I'm trying to think, like, what kind of vibe am I getting? And it's just, I'm thinking just very much Arthur, Victorian England, medieval England. So this guide who is coming through may have been, and even with the ten of swords, so over here, obviously this is swords, we see a knight who's been beaten. So I'm getting the feeling that this was like a soldier or a knight, like a knight of the round table. I don't even know if like Arthur and his knights were real or if it's all myth, but this guy that is coming through definitely feels like a knight, not just a soldier but a knight. Were the knights of the round table real? I'm not sure, but very like an avenging force. I'm also thinking crusaders. That may be the case for some of you, if you have that lineage, if you have that ancestry. So a knight, a crusader, somebody who was in the similar time periods. Let us Google. I'm also now thinking of Dev Patel's The Green Knight. So definitely a knight. Definitely a knight. Were knights and crusaders the same? A crusader was anyone of any rank, including knights, who specifically took part in a campaign to conquer the Holy Land of Jerusalem or wage war against heretics in the case of the Albigenian Crusades. So you could have crusading knights, but also crusaders who are commoners or peasants. But I'm definitely getting a knight, like this ancestor, this male guide who is coming through for you, because it doesn't have to necessarily be an ancestor, but I feel in your case it is very likely that this is an ancestor of yours. So if you have that like European, English, even Scottish, I'm thinking that kind of ancestry, then this is very much for you. And this person is coming through very clearly for you. This person who was a knight, yeah, who like kind of gave up everything in service of his lord or his king, in service of his duty as a knight, because of his knighthood, who made his knighthood his whole life, his whole personality. Not his whole personality, but in a way yes, his whole personality. But he made his knighthood his whole life, he made it his everything. It was his absolute everything. He lived by the sword, he died by the sword. It was his everything. Let us see what this person has, what message this person has for you. And of all songs to be playing in my head right now, we have Aqui Mando by Uchis and Rico, I think. My group 2's guide, what message do you have for my group 2, please? The 8 of Swords. Interesting, 8 of Swords. What message do you have for my group 2, please? The Emperor. Okay. Right now you just may be struggling mentally, going through a very dark time. A dark patch. Some of you may have recently experienced a breakup with someone who you thought was going to be your partner, your husband, your wife, your spouse. What message do you have for my group 2, please? The King of Swords. The King of Swords. What message do you have for my group 2, please? What message do you have for my group 2, please? The Queen of Wands. There's such an interesting, like, overbearing energy almost. especially as we start with this Eight of Swords. What message do you have for my group 2, please? What message do you have for my group 2, please? The Eight of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. 2 eights. What message do you have for my group 2, please? Let's check my group 2, please. The Four of Swords. A time of forced rest. A time of stagnation. And at the bottom of the deck we have the Seven of Swords. For my group 1, everything came through so like suddenly and so clearly, like this burst of information. And so to come to your group and just look at this and feel kind of stumped, it's like your guide is so guarded. And I think that makes sense for a knight to be very guarded, very protective with what he has to say. Because like I said, he spent his whole life in servitude of the crown, or in servitude of his lord, in servitude of his knighthood. And he trained himself to be, well, not trained himself, but he was trained to be a certain way, to be guarded, to be judgmental, to have an observing eye, a critical eye. And for me to ask him for a message, it's almost as if he's like, he doesn't know if he can trust me, and so he's not giving me a clear message, as if he wants me to work for it. I think that's the best way to say it. He wants me to work for this message. But some of you just may be going through a very tough time mentally with the Eight of Swords. You may just be feeling very trapped, very suffocated, very confined, cornered, as if you have no way out of this hellscape. And this may be with regard to a specific person who just does not leave you alone, who causes you pain, heartache, terror, turmoil, who is a burden to you in some way. This person who may be blowing up your phone. I feel like he's misleading me. I'm not going to lie, I feel like he's misleading me. Like he's a bit of a trickster. It's like, you know those people who are very stoic and very stern, and when you get to know them, they're like actually a very big joker. And it's like he's telling, it's like he's testing me to see if I'll get to the heart of this message. And that may be how he is as a guide to you as well. If you do tarot readings for yourself, or if you get tarot readings and the reader or you connect with him, he may tell you one thing when he actually means another. Just say you ask him, am I going to marry this person? And he'll say yes. He'll give you 10 yeses, because he doesn't want you to rely on cards alone. He doesn't want you to rely on tarot alone. He wants you to trust your intuition. He wants you to trust your gut. He wants to test you to see if, just say for example you ask, am I going to marry this person? And he's like, no, but he gives you 10 yeses. He wants to see if when this person proves to you to be disrespectful to you, or forgetful about you, or mean to you, or rude to you, whether you're going to stand up for yourself and say, I don't care what the cards say, I'm using my discernment, I'm going to leave, or you're going to stick around because the cards told you, yes, this is your future spouse, you're going to marry this person. It's like he never had anything handed to him, and so as your guide, he doesn't want to just hand things to you either. He wants you to work for them, yes, but he wants you to prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving difficult things and doing difficult things. He doesn't want to just hand things to you, because he was never handed anything, and he believes that made him a better person, a better knight, a better friend, a better lover, a better husband. I don't think he ever got married, because I feel like his life was his knighthood, unless it was like required of him. But he worked for everything. He never had anything handed to him, and he feels that that made him a better person, a better leader, a better figure in the community. and he wants the same for you. And so he doesn't want to just hand anything over to you. He doesn't want to just tell you, here's X, Y, and Z, because he wants you to realize, oh, this is X, this is Y, this is Z. He wants you to figure things out for yourself. He wants you to experience life for yourself. Because, like, let's say you ask him, even if you're not asking him specifically, I feel like that a lot of the times when you connect with your guides and you do your readings and other spiritual practice, this is your guide who's connecting with you, that he is there first and foremost. It's like he's taken a knightly position over you as well. Even in death, he has not stopped being a knight. He's just become your knight. He's become your guardian knight, in a sense, guiding you and protecting you and looking after you, but also wanting to put you in situations where you're still experiencing life, and you're experiencing the 360-degree difficulties of life, all of the difficulties of life that will help you to grow. So say, for example, you're nervous about a date and you think, oh, it's going to go bad, I don't connect with this person. And that's your gut instinct, and you're like, I want to cancel. And so you ask your tarot cards, should I cancel the date? And your guide is like, yes. And you know you should cancel the date because you feel bad, you feel nervous, you feel unsure. Why aren't you trusting your gut? So even though he's saying yes, you should cancel, he's going to still give you messages and saying, no, go for it. Because he wants you to trust your gut. He wants you to trust yourself. He's like, you have this intuition for a reason. Why aren't you trusting yourself? Let me pull more tarot cards, actually. 2 more. Yeah, and there's like this energy of indecision, of stagnation. He's like, you always know what to do, but you don't trust yourself. You know that you should do X, but you feel scared. So you ask for everybody's opinion, you ask for your guide's opinion, and they tell you to do Y. So even though you wanted to do X, you do Y, because everybody's telling you to do Y. It's like you're paralyzed by indecision. It's like you can't do anything for yourself because you're so scared of making the wrong decision. You run away from making certain decisions. You run away from living your life, essentially. A message here from my group 2, please. The 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands. Every time you're faced with a difficulty, you think you can't manage it, you can't handle it, you think that it's going to end you, when you are so capable, and you are so much stronger than you think you are, and you're so much more capable than you think you are. It's like, what's it, like decision fatigue? You get decision fatigue, and over little things as well. My group 2, please, a last tarot card. Well, not a last tarot card, but a last tarot card for now, please. The Ace of Pentacles. And you block your own blessings. What's that Megan Thee Stallion song? It just popped into my head. Be blocking their blessings. What song is that? This is be blocking their blessings. Megan Thee Stallion. It's not naturally. Is it bless the blue? Yeah. Blocking your blessings. If you're so worried about me, get invested. Bitch, I'm a business, so wanna get in it. Bless the blue. Bless the booth freestyle. And that's pretty much it. You're blocking your own blessings. You're so worried about what everybody is thinking. You're so worried about what other people are saying. You're so worried about making the wrong decision. And so because you're so worried, you don't do anything. You don't do anything, or you take the safe route and you do what everybody else is telling you. But I feel like mostly you just don't do anything. You say, and like I said, even with small things, you stand in your kitchen, you're like, I want to eat something, but should I have a sandwich or should I have ramen noodles? And you stand there like, should I have sandwich, should I have ramen noodles, should I have sandwich, should I have ramen noodles? And then you don't end up eating anything. And then like, you can say this with anything, like maybe college or university. Should I study English, should I study maths? Should I study English, should I study maths? Should I study English, should I study maths? And so you just don't apply for either. maybe you want to switch, maybe you got into university or you got into college on a business degree and now you don't want to do it anymore, and now you're like, well, what should I do, what should I do, what should I do? So you just stick with business. Or you're in a job and you just landed in this job somehow, it was maybe your first job out of college, and you don't like it anymore and you want to leave, but you're like, what if I don't get that job, but I want to apply to that job, or what if I don't get it, but that job also looks good, but what if I'm not qualified enough for it? And no, so you don't do it. It's like you're not doing anything. It's like you're not doing anything. Oh my god, it's like it's like he's like, why aren't you doing anything with your life? Why aren't you making decisions? Why aren't you putting yourself out there? Why aren't you speaking up for yourself? Why aren't you going out of your comfort zone? Why aren't you doing anything? He's like, don't you feel unsatisfied with your life? And you do. He knows you feel unsatisfied with your life. I know you feel unsatisfied with your life because I feel so frustrated all of a sudden. And why aren't you doing anything about it? If you want to do something about it, if you want to make a change, if you want to do something, why don't you just do it? If you want to make a change and you're able to make a change, why don't you make a change? It's like you are standing in your own way. You are blocking your own blessings. You're the only person in your path, like standing in your path to success, to happiness, to fulfillment is you. Like literally, it's you. Because you're not even giving yourself the chance. You're not even allowing yourself to be in the same rooms where you can have these opportunities. You're like, I hate my job, I hate my job, and every day you wake up and you're like, I hate my job, I hate my job, I hate my job, but you're not even applying to other jobs. I hate what I'm studying, I hate what I'm studying, but you're not even applying to other courses. You're not changing anything about your life, you're doing nothing. You're stagnant, and you can stop being stagnant. You just literally need to change small things about your life sometimes. Okay, you don't want the sandwich. Should I have a sandwich? Should I have noodles? Should I have sandwich? Should I have noodles? Eat the crackers. Do you know what I'm saying? Should I study business? Should I study math? Should I study business? Should I study maths? Like, just make the change. Make the change. I don't want to do this and I hate my life and I wish my life was like that, but you're not making steps towards that life. You're not taking any steps towards the life that you want to have. And it's like there's this cognitive dissonance, like why aren't you doing anything about this? You want to change your circumstances, so why aren't you changing your circumstances? Like, why aren't you trying at least? And yes, sometimes things are way out of our control and we have to accept that. But when things are in our control and we don't do anything to change that, then aren't we fools? Aren't we fools? If you're studying something you don't like studying, and every day you hate studying this, and you don't want to do this anymore, and every day is a turmoil, and you can change to something else, why won't you change? Oh, it's another 4 years, so what? It's going to be another 4 years anyway. Make the change. Oh, I want a new job, but the job market is so bad, but you're not applying? I know the job market is bad, the job market is horrible. You can still apply, you can still put yourself out there, you can still ask around, but you're not doing these things because you're so, it's not even like you're comfortable, because it's like you hate being where you are, but you also, I guess in a way you are comfortable. You hate being where you are, but you don't want to leave where you are. And he's just like, why? He's like, why won't you do something with this one life that you have? Why won't you make the changes that need to be made, that you can make? And like I said, yes, some things are out of control. You want to get fit, you want to get healthy, but you can't afford the gym. Okay, take a walk every day. 20-minute walk every day. There's so many classes on YouTube. Do classes on YouTube. Oh, you want to learn to code. You can't afford coding classes. You can't afford a coding plan. There's people on YouTube. So many people are self-taught. Oh, you want to write a book, but you don't know what to write about. Just start. Write badly. Write bad poems in your notes. Just start. Just do something. Literally do something. You have one life. Do something with it. Please, like, just do anything. It's like what he's saying. And I know it's very harsh and it's very rude, but like, do something, because you're going through the motions and he cannot bear to see you live like this, just going through the motions every day, same in and out, and you hate it, and you're miserable, and you're frustrated, and you're sick, and you're tired, and you are angry, and you're upset, and you wish your life could be different. And it can be, even in small ways, it can be, even changing your perspective is changing how you live your life. It's like he just wants you to do something different. He wants you to take control of your hand. He wants you to take control of your life. He wants you to take your life in your hands and say, this is my one life, because this is your one life. And it's terrifying and it's scary, but it's the only life that we have. And once it's over, it's over. Forever is forever. Gone is gone. So you need to start doing something with your life. And it doesn't have to be these great big things. You don't have to become the next president. You don't have to become the next Elon Musk. You don't have to become whatever. Like, that's not the epitome of success. That's not all there is to life. Try a new, take a different route when you go for a walk. Stop to smell the roses. Stop to look at flowers. Stop to pet stray animals. Don't wear your headphones when you go out. Have conversations with people. That's how we change our life. Wake up 10 minutes earlier and meditate a bit before you go on your phone. Make it a habit to not go on your phone in the morning. Send out applications. Change your course of study. Talk to your professors more, your teachers more, your lecturers more. Talk to the person sitting next to you. Talk to the person in the lunchroom. Sometimes sometimes it's so easy to change our lives. You hate your life. Okay. If you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep hating your life, you know? If you keep doing the same things, if you keep living your life the same way, you're always going to feel the same way about your life. That is honestly just it. Let me pull your oracle cards now. Honestly, once, very long time ago, an aunt of mine told me, because I lost my parents young, and she's not an aunt by blood, but she is an aunt to me. I think of her as an aunt, even though I haven't spoken to her in many years. And one time she told me, how you see a situation is the situation. And I think about that a lot. When we are handed cards in life, when we are in a situation, our perspective is everything. Perspective is absolutely everything. If you, let's say for example what I was saying, you hate your job, right? There is a perspective of thinking, I hate this job and this job makes my life miserable and I wish I could just get out of this job, but I'm so stuck here and the job market is horrible, so I'm not even going to put myself out there because so many people are applying for years and years and years, so I might as well not do it. That's one perspective. The other perspective, I hate this job, I don't like working it, I want more from my life, or I just want something different, even if even if it's absolute entry level, even if it's a similar position just at a similar place, and I know the job market is bad, but I'm still going to apply, I'm still going to put myself out there, I'm still going to ask around, because you never know what's going to happen. Two different perspectives. If you hate this job and you want to go back to school, oh, but that's another 6 years, I'll be 31 by then, and it's so embarrassing to be my age in university, well, in 6 years you're going to be 31 anyway, and really, who cares what other people think? Who cares if things are embarrassing? There's two perspectives, and how you see a situation is the situation. How you deal with a situation affects everything. I don't know how to say this. It's like, but really, how you see the situation is the situation. Perspective is everything. Change your perspective and you honestly can change your life. Honestly, you can change your life. What's another 6 years? What's applying even if you get rejections? Okay, it's miserable to get rejections, but it's miserable being in the job that you are at the moment. It's miserable to be told no, but you are miserable in your job anyway. It's miserable to start over, but it's also miserable to be where you are. What is that other saying? The pain of success or the pain of never changing. What is it? No. But you get what I'm saying. Change your perspective, change your life. Let's put oracle cards for you. How message do I have for my group 2, please? Relaxation. And we're kind of building on that 4 of Swords energy. because it just feels like relaxation to the extreme. Too much relaxation because of fatigue, exhaustion, decision fatigue, decision exhaustion. Hating something so much, despising some aspect of your life so much, but not wanting to change it, or wanting to change it but not allowing yourself to change it. My good two feels. My good two feels. Nurture. Oh my god, two please. Enlightenment, okay. Relaxation, nurture, enlightenment. Relaxation, nurture, enlightenment. I think also you're being too hard on yourself. That you expect things to be perfect in your life, you expect things to be a certain way, to be the way everybody else's lives turned out, and so you're too hard on yourself and you're not allowing yourself to do anything. It's like, oh, other people my age are like this, so I can't live my life like this, and so you don't live your life anyway at all. Like, oh, other 22-year-olds are starting businesses and I'm unemployed, or I'm just I'm just a cashier, so I'm just going to accept my lot in life because that's my lot in life, when nothing really is our lot in life. And there's always ways to change, but it's also like, yes, like those things are out of control, right? But like, again, it's all about perspective. It's about your perspective on your life, and not so much about your life, not so much about the situation you find yourself in, but about your life. And I'm not talking from a place of, oh, you know, things are so easy and comfort. I'm talking from a place of understanding where you're coming from, of empathizing with you, because I know what you're going through. When times are tough and life is hard and you're like, can I even get out of this life? And so you wallow and you wallow, and you think nothing's changing, nothing's getting better, everything's miserable and I hate this. But you can't allow yourself to think like that. You have to allow your perspective to change. You have to start finding blessings in the small things in life. You have to start nurturing your soul and nurturing love for life. You have to start nurturing that change of perspective. You have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional about it. You have to tell yourself, you have to wake up every day and you have to say, I'm so happy to be alive, or thank you God for my life. When you walk outside, the sun is shining, thank you God for the sunshine. I'm so happy to feel the sun on my skin. You see a butterfly, wow, thank you God, that's beautiful. You have to be intentional. That's why also I was saying earlier, stop wearing your headphones out and about. Chat with people, look at flowers, pet cats, pet the stray dogs. Be intentional about your life, and slowly but surely start to see that there is more to your life than just the situation that is making you so miserable. And like, I'm not saying that the situation you're in is your fate. It may be a horrible situation, and I know you'll find a way out. I pray to God that you will find a way out. But until then, it is enough to find blessings in your life outside of this. You hate your job, okay, while you're applying, and you hate that you're getting so many rejections, you can find blessings in your life in other areas. You can thank God for other things. You eat your meal, thank you God for this meal. Oh, this is a delicious meal, thank you so much. You have to be intentional about these things. And like, I feel it's so important that this is coming from a knight who did not have an easy life either. He was probably born in poverty, and like in whatever era this was, he lived probably a miserable life, and he was always fighting and always coming back injured, but he loved it. He loved it because this is something that gave him purpose, it gave him joy, and he probably thanked God. Like, I feel like he was very religious. He thanked God for everything, for every single day, and he wants you to do the same. It doesn't have to be God. Again, it doesn't have to be God. This is changing your perspective and finding something other than you, thank the universe. When a butterfly flies across you, just like, wow, that's beautiful. Be intentional. Be very intentional about finding joy outside of the situation, finding joy in the situation, finding joy despite the situation, despite. You know, there's this poem that immediately came to mind. It's not a poem, it's a quote. My mother said I could be anything I wanted to be, or my mother said I could do anything I wanted to do, but I decided to live. And that's kind of what you have to do. You have to choose. You have to be very intentional, and you have to choose, or he wants you to choose. He wants you to choose to be happy, to not even choose to be happy. He wants you to choose to be present. He wants you to choose to be present. He wants you to choose to be aware of your surroundings. He wants you to choose to find blessings in your life. Don't just wait for some great big bang boom to happen in your life before you're thankful. Don't just wait, say, oh, I'm abandoned by the universe. I'm so forgotten. I'm so cursed every day. When it's a blessing to walk outside and see the flowers in bloom. When it's a blessing to be greeted by a stranger. Don't just wait for some big change to say, thank you, life. Thank you for my life. Don't just wait for a big change to thank your guides for supporting you. Don't just wait for, you know, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. You have to, and thank yourself also every day. You have to thank yourself every day for getting yourself through these tough situations, for making the tough decisions, for doing what's hard, for doing what's difficult. You have to thank yourself every day as well. And like, that's the main message that's coming through for you from this guide, is to just be intentional, to change your perspective, to be intentional about changing your perspective, and to just find a way to be grateful and happy and see blessings around you, even when maybe subconsciously you're like, my life is a curse, blah blah blah. Ignore that voice and be intentional about finding the blessings around you, because honestly, being alive is a blessing. Walking outside now, sitting here right now, I can hear birds, and that's beautiful. That's a blessing. I exist at the same time. I'm awake at the same time as those birds outside who are tweeting, and I can just enjoy that. Thank you, God. That's a blessing. And we have to be intentional about these things. We have to be intentional about these things, or we will be miserable. We will be miserable. And that's what I feel from you right now. I feel like you're miserable. And he doesn't want you to be miserable. I don't want you to be miserable. I want you to love life enough that you're willing to change it. That you're willing, that you're no longer accepting that your life is miserable. I want you to find a way to make a beautiful life for yourself, because I know and he knows that you can make a beautiful life for yourself. Okay, my group too. So I'm going to close your reading here. Thank you so much for watching this video and for trusting me to be your reader. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can find the links to do so down below. Alright, bye. Hello my group 3, and welcome to your reading about what message your male guides have for you. So today we will be using the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and for your oracle we will be using the Whispers of Lord Ganesha oracle. Alright, so first let's find out a bit about this guide of yours. My group 3's guide, can you please tell me a bit about yourself? My group 3's male guide who's coming through, can you please tell me a bit about yourself? The Knight of Swords. My group 3's male guide, can you please tell me a bit about yourself? I'm channeling I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie. Love of mine, someday you will die and I'll be close behind. I'll follow you into the dark. My group 3's male guide, can you please tell me? Five of Swords. I will follow you into the dark. My group 3's male guide, can you please tell me a bit about yourself? Oh, all my cards are falling now. Oh my god. My group 3's male guide, can you please tell me a bit about yourself? And the 10 of Cups. Okay. 10 of Cups. somebody, so I'm not getting where this guide is from, though I may in a moment, but I get the feeling that this is somebody who died for love, died because of love. I'm getting like Black American antebellum, and the antebellum period, if I remember correctly, because I'm not American. I did study history, but I didn't learn about this in history. I studied history throughout high school and I majored in history, but I didn't learn about this in history. But the antebellum period is the period in the American South just after slavery was abolished. So antebellum period, Black American. Dead Cat for Cutie. Actually, I'm very interested in finding out where. I just feel like asking where the lead singer of the band is from, because that may give us more insight. Ben Gibbard. Let's Google him. Bremerton, Washington, United States. Oh, he was married to Zoe Deschanel for a while. How interesting. But yeah, I just get the feeling that we're looking at somebody, American South, antebellum period, somebody who died for love, who died because of love. This may be triggering for some viewers, so just take caution, because I do feel like this was somebody who, this may have been a black man who had been dating interracially with a white woman, and it was just not accepted and he was killed because of it. For some of you, it was a decision he made. Him and this woman, they decided to take their lives together, and because that's how devoted they were to each other, that's how much they loved each other, and they just wanted to be together. And so they decided that if we can't be together in life, then we'll be together in death. And so they decided to take their lives together. Honestly, they had a very romanticized view of their life and a very romanticized view of their relationship, and they may have thought that, oh, things are getting better, so we can be together publicly, you know, without any shame, without hiding it, without any opposition. And they were obviously very wrong, and so people were making it very hard for them, threatening both of them, and just not welcoming them in their city. And they may have had to leave, and they still weren't welcome there, and they weren't welcome anywhere. And they were like, we just can't do this anymore, let's just end things here, let's just, you know, I love you, you love me, we love each other, and we cannot be happy in life, but maybe we'll be happy in death. And so that's a decision that your guide and this woman that he loved made, to just be together in death. There's I think it's Thirst, the movie by Park Chan-wook, and these people, so the main character, it's about vampires, so the main character is a priest who becomes a vampire, and then a woman that he falls in love with also becomes a vampire, if I remember correctly. And she kind of goes mad with power. I think, if I remember correctly, I think I watched this last year sometime, and in this movie she had been abused, and she had been very taken advantage of and very demure, and then she became a vampire and she got all this power, and she kind of got hooked on that power, and it was becoming impossible to hide the secret that they were vampires and that she was a vampire, because like people were coming over and she was killing people like indiscriminately. And so this priest took it in his own hands because he didn't want her to suffer this fate anymore. He didn't want her to keep living like this. And so he also probably felt guilty because I think he turned her into a vampire. And so he made the decision for both of them to die, to kill her, to kill himself. And he told her, and there's this line I always think about, I don't remember the first line, but the second line, the line that I actually always think about, and he's like, together again in hell then. And it's like, if we cannot, you know, if we cannot be happier, and maybe we'll never see heaven because of us being vampires and because of all the people we killed, but at least we'll be together in hell, and I'll love you even in hell. That kind of energy. And it's like, this person, this guy that's coming through for you, and their partner, this person that they loved so much. And for some of you, it may not even be a race thing. For some of you, it may have been same sex, it may have been LGBT, it may have been queer. It was just something that was not accepted by the community. Maybe they were two gay men, maybe they were two lesbians, maybe they were two trans people that were dating, maybe it was a cis person and a trans person. It was something that was absolutely not accepted by society. And I do feel like this person is American, but please take it as it resonates. I also just heard Hydra, so please just take it as it resonates. Two-Spirit, so please take it as it resonates. But this person, this guy that's coming through for you, when they were living, it's like they had no peace. They couldn't just love in peace. They couldn't live in peace. They were antagonized. They were mocked. They were threatened. They were never free. They never felt free. And so this person, this guy that's coming through for you, your guide, and their partner decided, you know, yeah, to take their life in their own hands and end it. And that's miserable. It is miserable. But I think that in the end, they didn't regret the decision they made. They didn't regret going out together. It's very sad, but you know, some people's lives are just sad, and there's nothing you can do about that. So let's see. What message do you have for my group 3, please? Message for my group 3, please. What message do you have for my group 3, please? The lovers. The lovers. What message do you have for my group 3, please? The 8 of Pentacles. Love is worth fighting for. Love is worth staying alive for. I made the difficult decision, and it's a decision that now I've come to regret. Watching you blossom, watching the years pass by, watching and seeing how things change, watching people grow old and live their lives and be happy. I wish that I could have grown old and lived my life and be happy. I wish I had fought to live my life and stay happy. I wish I hadn't ended my life the way that I did. Love is worth fighting for. Love is worth staying alive for. I think that's like your whole message summed up. That love is worth staying alive for. That life is worth fighting for. Please. Page of Wands. I kind of feel like crying, but like happy tears. Because this really feels like, you know, an old person, an old soul. Because I think that when your guide passed, when they died, they were young, they were fairly young. I'm thinking mid-30s black man. But now as your guide, and in all this time in the spirit realm, all this time as a guide, and he's really aged in a way. He has that wisdom, that ancestral wisdom. My group 3. It doesn't have to be a black man, like I said. It's just what keeps coming through and who I keep envisioning. But it doesn't have to specifically be, it was interracial. It just feels so, it feels just so America. That's the one thing I'm certain of, that it's America. And for some of you, this guide, but I feel like actually, even if you're talking about being gay or being trans or anything, I think the race stays the same. That this guide of yours that's coming through is black, and his blackness would have extenuating forces on everything else. It made his experience as a gay man harder. It made his experience as a trans man harder. It made his experience as anything harder. It made his experience as a person in an interracial relationship harder. Whatever it was, his blackness played a role. And so many of you may be black, you may be off color, and he just wants to keep telling you that yes, he made his decision and he was at peace when he made his decision, but in a way he has come to regret it. He regrets not fighting to stay alive. He regrets not choosing to live some more. He regrets not allowing himself to grow old. He regrets not allowing himself to see the natural end of his life, and he doesn't want you to make the same decision. That yes, you can be at peace with the decision, but he feels that you, like him, would regret it, and he doesn't want you to regret it, because he also sees the long run. He sees the long term. He sees your future, and he knows that you will want to be happy. You will want to be alive to experience your future, because in your future you are going to be so happy, so at peace, so glad that you fought. He wants you to know that what you're experiencing right now it's not your forever, it's not your destiny. And he wants you to keep fighting to stay alive, to experience the peace that he sees for you, to experience the peace that he wishes he could have experienced, to experience old age, to experience aging, to experience the blessing that is aging that he never got to experience because of the decision that he made. How message do I have for my group here, please? And now I'm channeling King of Swords. Now I'm channeling History Has Its Eyes on You by from Hamilton. From Hamilton. Oh, what card fell out? The Five of Swords sideways. Let me shuffle again. For my group 3, please. What message do I have for my group 3? The Seven of Pentacles. Yes, he knows that maybe you feel like you'll never be loved. Maybe you feel like you'll never be accepted for who you are. Maybe you feel like you're going to have to live the rest of your life hiding, the rest of your life unhappy, the rest of your life pretending to be someone that you're not, but you won't. And it may be so easy to take that route of ending things for yourself. It may feel like the right thing to do, but it's not. Because he sees your future. He has knowledge that you have no access to. And he knows how amazing, how beautiful things are going to be for you in just a few years. And he wants you to live the life that he never got to live. He wants you to experience the kind of life that he never got to experience. He wants you to experience the fullness of life that he wishes he allowed himself to experience. And he's not saying just ignore it. Just ignore how difficult your life is. No, not at all. He recognizes the devil. He recognizes that life is difficult. He recognizes that you feel trapped. He recognizes that you feel like you have nowhere to go. He recognizes that you feel like you have nothing to live for. He recognizes that you feel like you have no other choice. But he wants you to know, first of all, that's fine. Feel it. Don't keep yourself from feeling it. And 2, know that change is coming. That you are going to be so happy that you fought to live. That you are going to be so happy that you stayed alive. That you are going to be so happy that you never gave up on love. That you never let your heart turn cold. You are going to be so happy that you didn't give up. That you didn't let your darkness, your sadness, your pain, your misery, your circumstances, that you didn't let these things get the better of you. And he doesn't want you to pity him. He doesn't want you to say, oh, his life was so sad. Oh, I'm so sorry for him. No, because he made peace with his decision. But he doesn't want you to have to be in the situation where you have to do the same thing. He doesn't want you... Do you know there's this poem I think about a lot. It's called The Morning After I Committed Suicide. And it's like the morning after I committed suicide. And it's just talking like going, I wish I could remember it word for word, but it's just talking about like going through the motions now after the writer committed, and seeing how people live, how people are going about their day and dealing with this decision to commit suicide. And she ends it with, you know, the morning after I committed suicide, I wanted to take it back. And that's the kind of energy that your guide is bringing here, that he wanted to take it back, that he was at peace with the decision. But then the next day, in the spirit realm, as a spirit, whatever it is, he was like, and like once he's like, I wish I hadn't done it. That I was at peace when I made it. I was at peace with the decision when I made the decision. But now that I've done it, you know, there's still so much of life I wanted to see. There were still so many things I wanted to do. There were so many plans I had for myself and I had for my future. And he just wants to give you that perspective. He's not telling you what to do, what not to do, but he just wants to give you that perspective. That you may be at peace with the decision, whatever this decision may be. And you may come to regret it later. You may decide, I'm never dating again. I give up on love, I'm never dating again. And in doing so, stop yourself from meeting the love of your life. You may say, I'm never putting my art out there. Everybody's laughing at my art. Everybody ignores my music. I'm never putting my music out there again. And you stop yourself from being the next Shakira. I don't know why Shakira is the first person that came to mind. But you know what I'm saying? You may decide, I hate my life. I'm so miserable. I'm going to end it all. And then once you do it, you wish that you hadn't. You wish you could take it back, but you can't. It's like the only thing that you can't take back. And he just wants to give you perspective. He wants to give you perspective. And he wants to tell you that yes, maybe he cannot tell you about everything that he sees with regard to your future. But he wants you to know that things are going to be better. And he wants you to know that you are going to be so grateful that you didn't make any rigid final decisions. That you put yourself out there, that you went out on a limb, that you continue to fight to be alive, that you continue to fight for love, that you continue to fight for yourself. He wants you to know that you are going to be so thankful. And I get this image of like this little house on the beach, and you just coming out with your coffee, a little old lady, little old man, and you're like, I'm so happy to be alive. I'm so happy for this life that I've lived. Yes, maybe it's been hard. I don't doubt that your life has been hard. It's been difficult. I don't doubt that you feel drained some days. You wonder if it's worth even trying again. You wonder if it's worth even putting yourself out there. You wonder. And I want you to know that it's going to be. That this is all going to be worth it. In the long run, not even in the long run. It's just all going to be worth it. I want you to know that. Alright, my groupie? Let me pull your oracle cards. Oh, what fell out for you? Delight. Delight. Come on, please. Come on, please. Come on, please. Nurture. This also came out as the second card for group 2. Nurture. Come on, please. 3, please. Let's check for my 3. Spiritual quest. You know what song just came to mind? Oh my god. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And it's just like, you have an adventure ahead of you. And for some of you, that adventure is just the winding path that life takes. But you have an adventure ahead of you. Embrace it and be prepared. Not be prepared for it. It's just like, it's not even like giving you any advice. Now the noise is starting. I hope it's not too disturbing, but I am almost done. I feel like it's not even right for me to give you any advice. It's just to tell you that life is an adventure. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be days you hate being alive, and there's going to be years that you are so glad you didn't give up. And he wants you to know that things can change overnight. Anything can happen. Things can change for the best in a snap of a finger, in the blink of an eye. And he just wants to let you know that. And he wants to let you know that he's there with you through it all. He's like a kind uncle over your shoulder, a grandfather over your shoulder, nodding at you, watching you, smiling at you, grateful for every day that you're alive, happy that you get to experience this life, happy that you're alive. He's just happy that you're alive. And even if you're not happy that you're alive, he's kind of saying, I'll be happy for both of us. And when you're ready to be happy for yourself, then you can be happy for yourself. But until then, I'll be happy for both of us. I'll nurture you. I'll look after you. I'll guide you. I'll be there for you. And that's more than anything. He's there for you through this long winding road that is life and that's going to be your life. He's there for you. Please never doubt that, my group 3. Alright, my group 3, I'm going to close your reading here. Thank you so much for trusting me to be your reader. If you would like to book a reading with me or just follow me on social media, you can find the links to do so down below. Alright, bye.